On today's show, look, New Orleans Police Department, y'all got to come to the front of the congregation because we got to have a serious conversation about what's going on in the city of New Orleans, especially during Mardi Gras. Also, I got a couple of questions about some things that happen with Mardi Gras bands. All this and more coming up next on Luke's Band Report. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, or whenever you are watching me right now. My name is Jay Luke, the owner and the operator of the Passion Is Network. I'm also the host of Talk That Talk and a panelist on Blow the Whistle. You can check out any of our merchandise at www.realtalkthattalk.com. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. First things first, I gotta say this. If I don't say it, then I will just be out of the loop. Congratulations to Southern University as well as Jackson State for their more recent performances that they've done. Jackson State just performed in the Super Bowl with Usher, however you say his name, USHER, whatever. My point is, congratulations to you guys. Right now, what I find it very interesting is I really appreciate the fact that we can be able to have our HBCU band programs be showcased. And then I also saw the Kappas in there. Lord knows we ain't gonna never hear that down. But I really like the exposure and the showcasing of HBCUs and the HBCU culture. I know we've had that before. It's not the first time that HBCU band has performed during halftime. I mean, obviously, we know for all the Rattler heads out there that FAMU performed with Prince. It's really interesting. It's, again, that funny thing that I've said before. I find it really interesting that when someone else does something good, we have to highlight our other things that we did that were quote unquote better. And it's really interesting the fact that I saw that there are some folks who decided to highlight their fam performance in Prince rather than just giving Jackson State love for the things that they did for this performance. So again, shout out to you guys. Great performance. Good job. Obviously, I was looking at J5. I'm a J5 fan. Y'all already know that. I like those dope uniforms with the Busby hats with the U on it. I thought it was dope. So yeah. They're probably going to take that U off if they can and put a J5 on there. That would be probably dope that they use for a uniform maybe next year or something. I don't know. But anyway, let's keep this thing rolling, man. I know it's been a while that since, we have been on this show and I had a conversation with that and I went live. It's been a lot going on, but I am back and let's go ahead and get into the conversation. There has been something really interesting that happened during the Mardi Gras parade in New Orleans and everybody's talking about it and I'm going to talk about it today. Typically I have notes. I don't even have no notes right now. I am going to go off of the absolute cuff on this because when I saw this, it really, really pushed a button in me. So without further ado, let's go ahead. I don't know why that just happened. Without further ado, let's go ahead and watch this very quickly. For the sake of argument, I'm going to run this back one more time and we're going to stop it right here. So if you all don't know what's going on right now, this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is Landry High School and they are performing. They have stopped. As you all know, as most parades do, you're going to have to stop and, because either things are slowing down or you're going to have to catch up. But watch what happens right here. This young man right here on the mellophone is playing it. This cop is turning around and he all of a sudden pushes this young man out of nowhere. Literally decides to push a young high school student out of nowhere. We don't know if this young man is 15, 16, or 17, or could be a freshman at 14. So he decides to push him. Now, what I do appreciate is the young brother who's right next to him makes a decision to come over to his aide to say, hey, this wasn't cool. Let's stop this right now. No. This is a absolute issue. And so we see that happening. I'm gonna go ahead and roll footage. And then the other cop comes to push him off as though he was the problem. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Why are you pushing off this other young student when your partner was the problem? That was the issue. That's where the issue came from, right? So why are you pushing off so you step into this thing thinking that what your partner did was okay, and then you want to push off this other young man. So that's they decide to continue to move on. I honestly believe that is the most disrespectful thing. New Orleans Police Department, you need to come to the front of the congregation on this one. And apparently they have been investigations going on with the New Orleans Police Department covering this. This is from the NOLA.com news. This says NOPD Bureau investigating officer recorded shoving LB Landry band member during Muses Parade. The New Orleans Police Department's Public Integrity Bureau has opened an investigation after a New Orleans police officer was recorded pushing a member of the LB Landry High School band as the group performed during the Muses Parade. An NOPD spokesperson confirmed. Video footage of the incident, which took place Thursday evening, shows a New Orleans police officer pushing a member of the marching band mid-song, knocking him into another student. The video spread quickly across social media. The NOPD did not comment, obviously, beyond the confirmation of the investigation. The student's mother, Tiffany Jones, was watching the parade about a mile away from where the incident took place on St. Charles Avenue, she said in an interview on Sunday. Based on the video footage and her son's account, she said the officer had his back turned to the parade and stepped backwards into her son. The officer then turned around and pushed him, she said. Jones said her son, Brandon Mitchell, 18, young man is 18, heads the mellophone section for the Marching Pride band unit, was homecoming king of the school, and has numerous scholarship awards. I'm furious and livid, Jones said. He's not the type of child police should be doing this to. It's band 101 to know you're not supposed to push a child playing an instrument. She said her son's mouth was bruised and that the horn could have easily chipped his tooth. Jones shared text messages from her son in which he said the officer backed into him before turning around and pushing him with extreme force. It really goes on to say a lot more, but I want to highlight something really quickly. It says right here, he's not the type of child police should be doing this to. It's band 101 to know that you're not supposed to push a child playing instrument. No, correction. It is not okay to push a child, period. You are an officer of the law. Your job is to keep peace. And to put your hands on a performing student is disrespectful, it's egregious, and it's assault. There shouldn't be an investigation. Let's just call it what it is. The video evidence is clear. You can say whatever it is that you want to. The guy. I can't. It's difficult for me to call. Let's pull it up again. He just literally pushed him out of nowhere. That's a shove. Look at his left arm. A shove. And it wasn't a shove like, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, I was just turning around. No, he literally shoved this young brother and moved him with force enough to move his whole body. No, sir. No, sir. This is not an investigation. That is clear evidence of assault. You need to be removed from your job because obviously you don't know what it means to actually to protect and serve, to keep the peace, right? And the thing that really, really gets under my skin is the fact that it's us. It's our own, and you're a grown man. What kind of example are you setting as a grown man doing that to a young man? You should be the example for him to look up to. But then you wonder why our young kids don't trust police. Because then it becomes the argument of, oh, it ain't just the Caucasian police, it's us too. So we just don't have nobody we can trust in this thing, right? Why does it got to be us? You can do that to your own. That just doesn't make any sense to me. No, you need to be fired. And I'm gonna be real. Let me keep it a buck. I am not at all against, or excuse me, with taking money out of somebody's hand. Let me be very clear on that. However you make your bread to support your family, to support your household, to support yourself, I am not against that. But in this particular situation, that's not okay. And a slap on the wrist, I don't know. I don't know if a slap on the wrist is okay. Maybe a level of community service that you need to do. Going up to that school and apologizing to that kid is not enough. Going to that young brother's home and to his mother and apologizing is not enough. There needs to be more. If you're not going to release this man from this position, fine, that's fair. Allow this man to continue, but there needs to be some type of true reprimand for what this man did to that young brother. And then the other officer for instigating it, the other officer for pushing the other young man back, the other officer for looking at his partner that was right next to him and I say, hey man, what you doing? That just doesn't make any sense. Why do we need to do this to ourselves, our own kids, our own students? You have kids who are literally sitting here playing in a parade who are doing this not only for the interest of their school, but also for the fact that they are engaging in an activity that is not polluting the streets, that is not violent. It's a positive thing. And this is what they get for doing that. This is how you show them that you're proud of these young men doing something to better themselves. Come on. New Orleans Police Department, you got to answer for that. There does not need to be an investigation. The evidence is clear. The evidence is purely clear. I don't understand why all of a sudden we have to go into an investigation when it's clear, black and white, right in front of your face. The officer needs to be reprimanded. And again, I'm saying I ain't about taking money out of nobody's pocket. But if he gets fired, I'm gonna be honest. This is the first time I'm ever just like, I don't know if I'm upset with that. But we got to do something. Him and his partner next to him, and we've got to do better with treating our own better. Our own is precious. People in general should be treated precious. Let's keep it real. People in general, but our own, during a time of celebration, and I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I don't think I've ever said this before. In the mecca of what we would call band, right? In a situation where we see this happen every year during this time, this celebrated moment where you get nothing but bands and kids participating, and you make the decision to do something this egregious. That's a trash act. It's just a trash act, bro. The New Orleans Police Department, you got to speak for this. Don't try to hide behind the badge, the brotherhood, and all that other stuff. You got to speak up for this. You got to take care of this. Straight up. It's not okay. Moving on to the next topic. I was also reading on Justin's page. Shout out to Justin, aka Smash Time. Getting a lot of great footage. Loving the footage that he's putting out there. I'm getting the opportunity to see everything. I was just watching the Alcorn and Talladega battle not too long ago. So big shout out to you, Justin. But I, if I'm not mistaken, I could have swore I saw him say that they are stopping the recording under the bridge. Is this please, guys, go in the comments. Guys in the comments, tell me if I'm wrong in what I saw. Is this true? They're shutting down recording under the bridge. Listen, So let me put my music educator hat on for like a few seconds, okay? There may be bands that may not sound pleasing to the ear all the time, right? I will go so far as to say this. I remember when I was in band, when I was in high school band, my band director said one of the reasons why he chooses to play certain songs at certain times because if he's in between two buildings just during the parade, if he's in between two buildings, the sound is bigger because of the reverberation that comes from hitting the walls, right? I didn't know who Talladega was until that first video that I seen them come out in. I think it was in 2017, 2016, maybe 2018, somewhere around there, where they were under the bridge. So going back to what I'm saying, there are bands that are out there that may not sound that great, but when they get under the bridge, the reverb from that bridge allows them to not only sound fuller, but sound a little bit more cleaner, right? It's almost very similar to like if you're working a board and you're doing layers, and then you're adding an echo effect to your audio. It connects the sound. Okay. It is a major part of the Mardi Gras culture to get under that bridge and play and to record under that bridge. I don't understand, and I don't know if this is a New Orleans thing. I don't know if this is a New Orleans Police Department thing. I don't really understand how you have the Mecca of band. I'm going to say it. This is the second time I've ever said this in my life. How you have the Mecca of band in a celebration that happens every year and things that happen that are routine and you're constantly shutting it down. This is another one of the areas where the NOPD needs to come to the front of the congregation. Guys, you need to be able to understand what happens during this time other than beads being thrown and breasts being exposed. There's more to it than that. The band culture is alive and well during that time, and you need to probably be well versed. You know what? Somebody from the NOPD, have them reach out to me. Let's have this conversation. Let's talk about it. Let's have the conversation about what band culture really looks like, and maybe we need to educate them. During this time, band culture is it reigns supreme. You wouldn't have the Mardi Gras wouldn't be the Mardi Gras without the 458 bands that participate in every single parade, right? And then when you start adding the videographers that have now been accompanied with these programs or with the culture now, it's alive in the essence of the culture. And the fact that you yourself are not well versed on that is a problem. It's just a problem. The bridge is what all bands wait for. The bridge is what all the videographers wait for. That's where the best videos come from. Car this year, Under the Bridge, has been absolutely nuts. Southern, Under the Bridge. McDonough 35, Under the Bridge. Absolutely nuts. Like all of these programs, under the Talladega, Under the Bridge, like we look for that. That is the main videos that we look for. Yeah, we look for all the other videos too. The Bloody Sundays, the crank up random, even just marching, but the bridge, that's the period to the sentence. We look for that. If I'm not there, I'm looking for that. I'm looking to watch that online. You've got to be well versed in the culture and the expectations of said culture. We've got to do better with that. So NOPD, I need you to come to the front of the congregation. If you don't want to come and talk to me, fine. I would like for you to come and talk to me. We can have this conversation. But if you don't want to talk to me, talk to somebody who's a part of the culture. So you all can have a better understanding. Y'all still got to answer for that other dude that likes to push little kids. Grown man like to push little kids. You still got to answer for that. That's a coward move, my guy. But that's the second thing that we got to talk about. Last thing, man. I'm gonna end this one a little bit lighthearted, man. Because the last two topics were a little bit. I'm gonna end this one a little bit lighthearted. So there's two things that I want to ask about. One of them, to me, in my opinion, is kind of silly, but it's something that I noticed, and I just got to ask this question. So this is for all my New Orleans folks. If you're from the NO, if you marched in the band, anybody, I need y'all to answer this question for me. As a band director, who's dealt with auxiliaries before, I have a couple questions. One, can you explain the taps on the majorette shoes? I don't get it. I just don't get it. As I'm listening to them march down the parade, all I hear, and I don't really understand why the taps on the shoes or on the boots. I just don't. Because when I had my dance girls, because we had the boots, and even my flag girls had the boots, they don't have taps on them. So I know that that's something that 9 times out of 10 you add. But why? Like, why is that a thing? School me. Put it in the comment section. School me. I'm curious about that. The second thing that I'm curious about is, for twirlers, is it a thing to march knock knee? So like I know this is weird, but these are things that I noticed, and I need somebody to just answer this question for me. So like when I see the little young ladies march, it's like their knees do this, right? And I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, why can't they just march straight? Like, is that part of the culture? Because I just need insight into this. I just need some questions into, why is that a thing? Is that a normal thing? Is that something that they teach? Or is it just, I don't know, is it passed down? I don't know. Somebody answer that question. My third question is, and I think I asked Justin this before once on Talk That Talk, where are all these twirlers going? Right? Every band, almost every band has a group of twirlers, and they're really good. But when we look at HBCUs, we don't have twirlers. I think Texas Southern, I don't know if Jackson State, I remember they had their old twirlers. I don't think they have any newer twirlers, but I don't see too many twirlers anywhere. So where are all these good twirlers going? Like, seriously, like those young ladies are really good, but we don't see them at HBCUs. Like, it's just like they do that, and then they just put the batons down after that, and they just go nowhere. So where do they go? Like, is that just a one-time thing? And then here's another question: where all the flag dudes go? Because they do flag really well. They got some the little move daddies that they do with it, which I think is cool. But then we don't see them anymore, right? Like, and it's funny because there are schools that have male flags, FAM being one, Norfolk being two. But we don't see them matriculating into those places either. And so that's just a question. Like, where do they go? Is really just the question that I have. So 1, taps on the shoes. 2, knock knee marching. 3, where do the majorettes go, and where do the flag guys go once they graduate, and why aren't they going to HBCUs? Maybe that's more of an HBCU question. I don't know. Anyway, y'all tell me in the comments, man. You guys tell me how you all felt about that policeman, or excuse me, that guy, because I don't even want to call him an officer of the law, because he's not keeping the peace. That dude pushing that young man in Landry's band. tell me what your thoughts are on that. Also, tell me what you guys' thoughts are on the not playing under the bridge. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? Or why? What do you even think as far as why they even made a decision to do it in the first place? Also, if you got the answers to those questions, I would really, really like the answers to those questions, because these are just things that as I'm watching, I'm curious about, and I'd rather ask than to sit and be oblivious about it. Other than that, man, I appreciate you guys for checking me out, checking us out right here at the Passion Is Network. Keep it locked. Wednesday, we will be back, and we're going to have a great conversation on the things that have happened with the New Orleans Police Department, as well as a whole bunch more. So keep it locked right here to the Passion Is Network. Remember, share this information out, subscribe to the Passion Is Network, and also I appreciate you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys for listening. Love you guys, and I will see you all on next week.